This is the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel 1970-73 Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler YouTube channel.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 70-73 Carryover League. We have reached the end of the first round of the postseason tournament, wrapping up in the National League East today with a series between the Braves and the Phillies. Well, you know what, folks? No need for a long, hectic pregame speech. Let's just see what these teams are doing and what they need. Going into, here we are in this row. This is the National League East. Oh boy. The Braves beat the Phillies earlier this year, 4-3. The +1 tiebreaker if needed. However, the Phillies have had a dismal season and are 5 games behind the Braves. That means with 7 games to play, the Phils would have to win 6 out of 7. The good news is Steve Carlton will be pitching in Game 1 against Phil Niekro, and Phil Niekro, well, Carlton won 27 games in 72. That should help the Phillies, you would think. Well, let's go take a look what happened in Game 1. The Braves, a team that was doing very well early on, in second place in the National League East, but they lost 8 of 9 games to the Marlins and Mets to tumble in the third. Can they right the ship? Phil Niekro, Steve Carlton. Well, yes, they right the ship. Lefty serves up a double to Tommy Aaron in the second inning. It's 1-zip. A 2-run homer to Earl Williams, 3-zip. Solo shot to Dusty Baker. In the 5th inning, 4-zip. Solo homer here to Hank. Hammerin' Hank, your MVP frontrunner to this point. 5-0 at this point, as the Phillies just have not shown up for, well, a guy who won 27 games for him when they only won, what, 54? Neither team is winning. Neither version of Carlton or his team is winning much of anything, frankly. Bottom of the 9th, the Braves made this interesting by getting errors by Darrell Evans and Ralph Garr and allowing 2 unearned runs to score, tarnishing Phil Niekro's shutout. The writing is on the wall, folks. The suitcases are packed in Philadelphia. The Braves beat the Phillies 5-2 in Game 1. And you don't need a degree in mathematics now, folks. Let's take a look at the overall standings in this division. The East, oh my goodness. The Phillies, probably the worst team in the league. The Mets, the best team in the league. That's a gaudy number, 12.5 games out of first. But more disappointingly, they are 6 games behind the Braves, and there are 6 games left, of course. The Phillies would need to win all of them. What are the Braves playing for? Well, interesting. They have temporarily, as you can tell, it hasn't been sorted yet because we're still playing. They have moved past the Marlins as the Marlins round is over at a game under. So they're a +1 in the wild card hunt. Cardinals at 0. Pirates at -1. Rockies at +1. Arizona at 0. Astros +3, Giants at 0. So, the Braves, they really want to win Game 2. If they do that, at a +2, they would take over the wild card spot, which is something the Mets dreaded. Yeah, the Mets pounded the Braves 4-1, but the Braves were playing great baseball. Then they lost 8 of 9, so they went through their low point of their season. Now they're about to turn it around, we think. Same thing with the Astros. They had a dismal April. They were the worst team in all of baseball in April. And now look at them. They've taken, 7 of 10 against the Dodgers and pulled to within a game and a half. So every team kind of hits a low point of their season, and if the Braves and the Astros have already hit it, it's going to make it tough for these other teams that are hovering around 500 to knock those boys down. So that's the big picture. Small picture is we got a game 2 in Philadelphia. Your pitchers, this is a nice matchup. Your pitchers, the Braves will send George Stone out there with a 73 card. It was with the Mets in 73 that he did this. And the Phillies, Wayne Twitchell. Probably his best year, also in 1973. This would have been a great matchup between the Mets and Phillies in 73 with these two pitchers. Both pitchers had ERAs below 3. Stone, Twitchell, Braves, Phillies. Phillies need to play spoiler. The rest of the National League is hoping the Phillies get on a winning streak. Leading off, it is Ralph Garr for the Braves. 2-7 is a grounder to third. Dusty Baker, 68. Single 1-2, lines out. Enrico Cardi, 3-6 is a base hit. Hammer and Hank, 53, rolls the first. Tony Taylor leads off for the Phils, 2-10, third. Good news for Philly fans, they are better against lefties than righties. Big picture, that usually means your team's not that good because you face more righties than lefties, and it's also saying you're not that great against righties. But in any event, yes, these Phillies can jack left-handed pitching, so they need to do that today. Terry Harmon, 1-7's a K. Greg Lazinski, 4-4, center X. This would be Mr. Baker in center field, a 2-5. And the inning's over. Top of 2. Darrell Evans, 1-9. Homer 1-2, fly ball. That is a fly ball. Earl Williams, 48K. And Gale Hopkins, 56 is a K. Bottom of 2. Darren Johnson, 37's a K. Orlando Cepeda, 1-5. Let's take a look at the Cepeda card acquired by the Phillies in the Dick Allen trade. A trade that would not have happened between the Phillies and Chi Sox. Chi Sox acquired Cepeda in a Tommy John trade. Anyway, yeah, this is what the Phils got out of it. So yeah, really, that's a nice piece. Granted, it's just for 1 year. It's a 70 Cepeda. And eventually, he moves around to a bunch of teams. Would ultimately be Boston's first designated hitter. But anyway, 1-5 is a solo homer, and the Phils get a lead. Pat Corrales, base hit. Johnny Callison, 65, double to center. Stone getting rocked here in the second. Corrales will hold at third base. For Wayne Comer, 59, skies a shallow right field. And with 2 outs, Larry Boa flies out the center, and the Phils do not take advantage of those base runners. We go to the third, 1-zip. It's Felix Mian. 56 is a K. Maury Wills, 2-2. Pops to short. Mian and Wills both having magnificent years. Both went to the All-Star game. Both would probably be batting first and second on most major league teams. That is how stacked the Braves are. That your leadoff hitters, your number 1 and 2 batters, are batting 8th and 9th. Ralph Garr, 1-7, is a base hit. That's because Ralph Garr hits, well, 325, of course. Ace stealer, Pat Corrales, has a -1. I'm going to try a steal with 2 outs. See what happens here. He's in there with a 5. Runner in scoring position for Dusty Baker. Dusty, 52. This guy's right. Go to the bottom of the third inning. It is Tony Taylor, 2-7, a K. Terry Harmon, 48, pops to short. Lazinski, 6'10", third X. This is Mr. Evans, a 3-23 at third base. Makes the play. Top of the fourth, Rico Suave, 6'11", bouncer to first. This would be Johnson, a 2-11 at first base, makes the play. Hammer and Hank Aaron, 34, almost had Homer. I think he's sitting at 20 right now, maybe 21. All-time record for homers in a carryover league throughout the postseason is 30 by Mike Schmidt with his 81 card. Did it like 15 years ago. That's how I remember it. Johnny Bench had 24, I think, last year, but 30 is the most homers I've gotten in one of these carryover leagues. And again, we're talking about doing it in 58 games. So 30 is ridiculous, as is 20 for that matter. But anyway, Hank Aaron grounds the third. Darrell Evans, 58, is a strikeout. All right, bottom of the fourth. Darren Johnson, 2-8 is a double. Cepeda, 2-5, on again with a base hit in the center field. Johnson will hold a third. Runners on the corners for Pat Corrales. 4-4 off of Stone, center X. This is Dusty Baker, 2-5 in center field. And they get the fly ball 8. Too shallow to run on that one. That could haunt the Phillies here, as they will play back with one out for John Callison, looking for a double play ball to end the inning. 38, though. Let's take a look at John Callison's card. He's actually was with the Phillies and the Cubs. This is a Cub card of 1970. Would have been in that outfield with Jim Hickman and Billy Williams. My goodness. Anyway, 38 is a single to right field. That will score Johnson. Cepeda will hold a second base. 2 on, 1 out for Wayne Comer. 45. Sky's the center. 2 outs for Larry Boa, and he bounces to short. 2-0 Phils. Can Wayne Twitchell make it stand? It'll be Earl Williams. 37 is a walk. Gail Hopkins, 58 is a K. Felix, you're putting me on. 6'11", first X. Well, if Cepeda can field this one cleanly, we won't be putting you on. He's at 2'11". It's a GBC, though. Runner at second, 2 outs for Maury Wills. 1-8 is single 1-16, and he rolls a 20 and lines out. Tough break for the Braves. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, it'll be Tony Taylor leading off. 1-9 for Taylor is a base hit. Terry Harmon, 111, skies to right. Lazinski, 33, is a 5-4-3 double play. 2-0 Phils. Made a little with a lot, as you could say, and just keep the game within scoring distance for the Braves. Ralph Garr, 37, skies are right. Dusty Baker, 2-5. Let's take a look at Dusty's card. 1972, 321 hitter, 17 bombs. This guy's batted all over the lineup this year. He's led off, and then they were slumping. They put him down in the 6 hole, and then eventually we just gave Ralph Garr the leadoff spot and put Baker in the 2 hole. And here he responds with a triple 1-3 double. That is a triple. They'll bring the infield up with 1 out for Rico Carty. 46 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Hammer Hank Aaron. Could tie it with 1 swing. 65 off Twitchell. Triple 1-2, single not out. It's a base hit. And we have a 2-1 game. Darrell Evans, 34, rounds the third. Bottom of the 6th here in Philadelphia. It's tight. National League's starting to get worried, feeling that the Phillies are just not a party to winning this game. Darren Johnson, 63, second X. The Phillies could be playing themselves into the first overall pick in the draft, which would be the previously mentioned Michael Jack Schmidt. How about that? Talked about the all-time individual season home run record for Strat for myself, and yeah, we have Hank Aaron and Mike Schmidt, same conversation. Anyway, ground ball to Mian. He's a 2-18. And he boots the ball. Orlando Cepeda, 1-7. What a day he's having. He hits a double 1-6. Base hit. Runners in the corners. Nobody out for Stone. Will get off the hook a couple times with minimal damage. Starter 7. Infield will come up for Pat Corrales. 58 is a sac fly left. And now it's a 3-1 game. Playing back for Johnny Callison. 2-6 is a K. And Wayne Comer, 1-2, fouls out the catcher, and he hurts himself. And we need a new outfielder. That new outfielder will be Ron Stone. So much for getting some defensive help for Lozinski. We just lost an outfielder, so that's not going to happen. 3-1 into the 7th. Twitchell's a starter 8. It'll be Earl Williams. 5-10, catcher's card. This is Corrales. A 2E5, catcher. He makes the play. Gale Hopkins, one of 3 Chi Sox catchers in the 70s who hit over 286. 58 is a K. Him, Ed Herman, and Dwayne Josephson. Felix Mian. 1-8 is a grounder to third base. Twitchell has other ideas. He's standing up for Carlton, who didn't do well in Game 1. Stretch time in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Well, not quite yet. The MFSB, mother, father, sister, brother, will just have to wait until the middle of the decade when they get that thing cranked up with the Maddoxes and the Dave Cashes and the John Stones, and you know what I mean, when the Phillies are really actually good. Today, we are listening to the Jazzy Pistols. This is Hugh Masekela in the late 60s with some South African musicians. The Dollar Brand combining on this compilation. Some nice stuff here. Getting us in the mood here today. Verse 1+. Hugh Masekela and Friends. Let's give this a little more juice since the Phils are winning. There you go. All right, bottom of the 7th. 3-1 game. George Stone still pitching. It'll be Larry Boa. 66 is a base hit off a Stone. What a rocky start. A stealing Boa will take off. On a 3, he's safe. What is the T rating of Mr. Earl Williams? 1-6? No. He'll hold it second. Tony Taylor. A couple more base runners will break Stone. Tony Taylor. 56 is a bouncer to short. Maury Wills, 319 at shortstop. And Maury, what is going on? Maury Wills just threw it in the dugout, folks. A 2-base era, and Boa, yep, they're waving him in. Yeah, umpires are waving him in. The ball went into the dugout. Bad moment there for Maury. And Maury Wills, the all-star, with a late career resurgence this year. Remarkable, he's like 38 years old playing shortstop. But anyway, that 2-base error. 2E6, and that plates Boa. We have a runner at second in a 4-1 game. That's not doing George Stone any favors. Terry Harmon, 210. Let's take a look at the Terry Harmon card. Nice little utility player here throughout the decade, but really nice stick here. 284. 218 at-bats. Probably should be the everyday second baseman versus Denny Doyle instead of just a defensive replacement. Terry Harmon, 210, is a single ... And just like that, folks, we got a 5-1 game, and that is going to do it for Mr. Stone. Tough break for the Braves. They were hoping to get 2 straight on the road, and it's not looking very good at all for that. And that rest of the National League rejoices at the possible news here today. Joel Horland will come trotting out of the former White Sox. He will come trotting out of the Brave bullpen to face Lozinski. Runner at first, nobody out. 5-1 game. Pitch to the bull. 2-7 is a K. Darren Johnson, 59, bounces to second. The runner moves up for Orlando Cepeda, who's perfect today till now. Catcher's card. Williams is 3E9. That wasn't the inning. All right, folks. 5-1 Phillies. Doing a heck of a job playing spoiler thus far. 8th inning for Twitchell. He breaks in the 8th inning. Not much defense to bring in, so it'll be Maury Wills leading off. 2-5, grounds the first. Ralph Garr. 47's a K. Johnny B. Baker, 67 base hit. I've been calling, I think I saw on his baseball card when I was a kid. His real name's Johnny in it. And I thought it said Johnny E. Baker. And I've been calling him that for, I don't know, 30 years. Till I found out I got that initial wrong. And I can't get it fixed in my mind, so there's that. Rico Cardi with 2 outs. 2-5 is a walk. And they're about to break Mr. Twitchell. And it's hammering Hank Aaron, your MVP candidate. And oh boy, folks. He could go a long way to locking that award up if the Braves can come back here. 2 on 2 outs. The pitch to Hank Aaron. 47 off of Twitchell is a K. Twitch gets through 8. And the Braves will have... We'll go to Mike McQueen in the 8th inning. Give him some work in a 5-1 game. Pat Corrales. 310 is a single. John Callison. 1-8. Saw the card earlier. Homer 1-4 fly ball. He misses it. It's a fly ball. Ron Stone in for the injured Wayne Comer. Stone 48 is a walk. 2 on for Larry Boa. 2-2. Oh boy. Short A+ injury. Phillies are getting hurt. It's like they don't want to win this game. So now Boa has to leave. We had Comer leaving, so now we need a shortstop. Well, we know we've got Harmon. Denny Doyle will play second, and Terry Harmon will move over to short with 2 outs. And it's Tony Taylor. Please don't get hurt. We'd like to field a team in the 9th inning here, Tony. 1-7, Tony Taylor. Let's take a look at the card. Very versatile one. A lot of versatile infield help here. Pre-Schmidt. 1-7, double 1-8, single not dot. That is a single not dot. And the Phils will get themselves another run. That will score Mr. Stone. Runners on the corners, 2 outs for Terry Harmon. 3-2. Bat pops the 3rd. 6-1 in the 9th. Does Twitchell want to finish what he started? He's going to try it, folks. He wants a CG. So it'll be Darrell Evans in the 9th. 1-8 is a walk. Earl Williams, 57, is a walk. Well, so much for that. That was a potentially expensive mistake there. Twitchell breaks, so he will leave with a 5-run lead. Joe Horner will be brought in to close this thing out. He is the Phils' best pitcher. 4-5 in 1971 with a $1.97 ERA. Asked to get 3 outs and send the hometown Phillies home with a win. Joe Horner will face, batting for Gale Hopkins, it'll be Tommy Aaron. Tommy Aaron with 2 on, nobody out as a pinch hitter. Here's the pitch. 37 is a K. Now it'll be Felix Millan. 65. Sky is the center. With 2 outs, it's Maury Wills. 3-11, Sky's to left field, and the Phillies, and the rest of the National League for that matter, are a little bit more chilled and relaxed. The Braves lost the baseball game, and they're back to 500. So that means that the National League wild card race is going to be a wild fiasco, wild drama this year with a bunch of teams in contention. Splitting the first 2. The Braves desperately need to win Game 3 at home so that they don't stay stuck at 500. Joe Horner gets the save. 2 walks and a K. Nice start for Mr. Twitchell. Wayne, 5 hits. A run in the 6th inning. 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. Nice work there. McQueen gave up 2 hits, a run and a walk. And Mr. Horland came in after the error. Struck out a batter. Rough day for George Stone. 10 hits, 5 runs. Actually, only 2 of those are earned. Yeah, only 2 are earned, though. No walks and 4 Ks. 1019, 0108, 61215. 410, 15, 410. Phillies. Let's take a look at both squads and see how they are faring year to date. You know, the Phillies actually have some good starting pitching. If they pitch well, they acquired Pat Dobson, a 20-game winner in 1971 from Baltimore in the offseason in exchange for Grant Jackson. And you would think a 20-game winner would really team up well with Steve Carlton. Just hasn't panned out. So the Phils are 10-20. 10 under 500. And, oh boy, folks, yeah. 10-20, hitting .262 with a .405 ERA. They've scored 112 runs, given up 139. That's probably right, yeah. That'll do it every time. Lefty is 4-6. I mean, come on. Steve Carlton's 4-6. What are you going to do? And you're bad already. So, Lefty's ERA is 3.80. 3.80. Just very mediocre. And that is not going to get anything done for this team. Twitchell gets just his second win today. And Pat Dobson, previously mentioned, has not won a game this year. He's 0-5. That's what happens when you take 20-game winners away from the Orioles. The rest of the league finds out they're just ordinary pitchers. But for some reason, in Baltimore, they do well. Only 5 saves out of the Philly bullpen with their 10 wins. Top hitter could be John Callis in the All-Star. 6 homer, 24 RBI. Pacing both those categories. 36 hits. It's been the John Callison show. Nice little year for him. 330 year. Good for him, for John Callison. His career is starting to wind down a bit, but a nice resurgence at the end there. Your Atlanta Braves, oh boy, we don't want another losing streak to begin, Atlanta. We really touted you earlier this year. You're back to 16-16, hitting .299 with a .448 ERA. You're wasting a lot of runs there. 160 runs scored, but 173 given up. And you look at the unearned runs, 34 of those are unearned runs, so that's some bad defense to boot. Negro, like Lefty, is 4-6. Stats are very similar. Top pitcher was George Stone. He lost that game. He's now 5-1. So there you go. Mo Drabowski's got 7 saves in their pen, though his ERA is around 4.5. And your Hammer and Hank Aaron update, folks. Here it is. 19 homers and 39 RBIs for Hammer and Hank. He would be, I'm going to put him at the top of the MVP list because that is destruction right there. He's far and away leading the league in both those categories. 40 for 129 is 310. You know, you'd like to give the Reds and the Mets an MVP candidate, and they do have plenty. But a lot of times those teams are so good, they have multiple MVP candidates that cancel each other out. For instance, the Reds, it's Tony Perez versus Johnny Bench. For the Mets, it's Cleon Jones versus Willie Mays versus Tom Seaver versus, heck, Bud Harrelson's hitting 300 for the Mets. He should get MVP votes. So there we have it today. Game number 543 is in the books. The league is hitting .263 with a .388 ERA. One more quick look at the standings. The National League East before we continue our series. And you see the Braves really want to win Game 3 so they can be +1 in the over 500. We'll give you the results of the rest of this series at the end of the video. Thanks for checking it out. We'll see you next time. Well, baseball fans, this is what happened when we went to Atlanta for a Game 3. Barry Lersch for the Phillies, Pat Jarvis for the Braves. We get some offense in the big or the little ballpark in Fulton County. Bottom of the first, Hank Aaron with a 2-run homer. That's number 20, folks. Number 20 in your MVP list. Ralph Garr, 2-run shot. It's 4-0 or 4-1, but the Phillies get their offense cranked up off of a suspect Pat Jarvis. A statistically good card, but he's getting rocked in Strat-O-Matic all through this year on a Brave pitching staff that's been getting rocked all year. 5-4, 6-4, another run in the fourth. It's 6-5. Braves comes back, but in the 7th inning, Jarvis is given this long plank to walk. They don't go to the bullpen because they don't like the bullpen. And Jarvis's card is better than the bullpen. It doesn't seem to matter. The Phillies have their way with Pat Jarvis in the 7th inning. Wasted a Hank Aaron homer. This thing is an 11-5 victory for the Phillies, and the National League has rejoiced because it means that the Braves cannot have a winning record regardless of how this series would end, which is what the teams like the Giants and Cardinals and Pirates and the expansion team Diamondbacks and Colorado Rockies were hoping for. And so, yeah, it's an 11-5 win for the Phillies in game number 3. which takes us to game number 4. And in game 4, an RBI single for the Phillies in the top of the first. Actually, it's a triple and a ground ball. Gets them a 1-0 lead. Bottom of the second inning, Hank Aaron hits homer number 21. And when I was playing this game, I paused for a moment and said, you know what, I need to look up Hank Aaron here. Because I was curious about how many MVPs Hank Aaron won in his career. So my guess was 2. That was just a wild guess, really. No background research to do that with. My guess was 2 MVPs in his career. What's your guess, folks? Take a minute, think about it. I'll give some silence here. Then we're going to look at the Hank Aaron page, because it's kind of fun to do. Let's go back some pages. I got some other ball players here. So Hank Aaron, in his long career, he had 1 MVP in his 4th year in 1957. But he had some threes, some three votes. Remember, he never hit 50 home runs in a season because it was all consistency and length. Bunch of years in the 40s, home run wise. But only 1 MVP. Now, in my recreation here, we have the 71, where he was 3rd, behind Stargell and, of course, Joe Torre. Joe Torre's had a pretty ordinary year, hitting like 288, which is fine, but just not worthy of MVP consideration. Willie Stargell and the Pirates are struggling. So that's how Aaron would get his 2nd MVP in this scenario. But you still have to consider Johnny Bench, Tony Perez, and a bunch of New York Met players, including Tom Seaver, Matt Lack even, Cleon Jones, Willie Mays. Heck, even Bud Harrelson should get some MVP votes because he's hitting 320. What's up with that? But you know what's interesting about Hank? That he still owns career marks in total bases and RBI. That's right, folks. Your all-time leader in those categories. And this thing won't let you go forward, will it? Yeah, it will. I have looked up a couple of those. RBI, and here you are at 2297. So Albert is, you know, he's 120 behind, but he has indicated it's his last year, and realistically, no, it's not going to happen for Albert. And then you got Miggy, but Miggy has got $90 million left to him through the year 2025 at age 42. Miggy theoretically could do it if he has some career resurgence as far as his power and production. He only has, I think, 4 homers for the Tigers this year in the year 2022, so I don't know what his future is, to be quite honest, what's going to happen at ages 40, 41, and 42. But we'll say it's plausible that Miggy Cabrera could overtake Hank. It's possible, but not likely. And then the other category is total bases. And so how do we get that again? We got to go to leaders and total bases. And again, you've got, here's Hank, 68.56. Albert, no, he's got 7. He's behind by 700. Albert could pass Stan this year. Stan Musial would be 2nd. So that's in Albert's sights. Miggy, 52.32, 1,600 bases. Again, I'll be nice and say plausible, but probably doubtful. But Miggy can pass, you know, Griffey and Beltre and some of his contemporaries. The great Frank Robinson. So that was a fun little investigation done in the middle of that game, in Game 4, and it would be an important investigation. You'll see, as this game we have an RBI double by Maury Wills, and it's 2-1, 3-1 in the 6th. The starting pitchers, by the way, Pat Dobson, you got a 20-game winner pitching Game 4 for the Phillies. By the way, he knows where Larry Boa is, because in the first inning, that single, and then a Boa double play. 5th inning, a single, a Boa double play, a Boa ground out, and a Boa ground out. So Dobson knows where his defense is. Gives up just 3 runs. In the 8th inning, though, Tom Kelly, the number 4 starter, very susceptible to lefties, is left in the 7th. He gets Doyle out. The right-handed batter, Tony Taylor, walks. So with a lefty coming up, they go to the dreaded bullpen of the Atlanta Braves, Mike McQueen the lefty, and it's Pat Corrales as a pinch hitter. 2-run homer, the Phillies tie up Game 4. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. There's an out, a Rico Carty walk, and of course, had to say it, folks, but there's Hank again. Hammered Hank Aaron's second home run of the game. He's trying to put a 500 Atlanta Brave team on his back and march into the postseason. Something that franchise did not do. Did it in '69, but not after that. So, yeah, he's trying to get this Brave team into the playoffs. They do win the game 5-3. They do split 4 games with the Phillies. So what does it mean? Let's go look at the postseason scheduling for the moment. And we go back up here. Atlanta, Philadelphia. Philadelphia needed a 6-1. The Braves win the series by splitting 4 games. The Braves are 500 at 17-17. The Phillies finished at 11-21. This sets up the second round of the tournament. When we look at the overall standings in the National League, in the second round of the tournament, the top seeds play each other for overall seeding purposes, no elimination. And the third place teams will visit second place teams across division. It'll be East versus West, which means the Mets and the Dodgers will play. It means the Reds and Vegas will play. Those series do not have a lot of intrigue presently. And we'll get into this in depth in a future video, as the Mets and the Reds would need a total collapse to not be your number 1s and 2 seeds. But I just want to mention how close the other teams are in the National League, which is right here. These are the other 8 teams in the National League, and this number is the number of games over 500. Houston's now looking good. They're 3 above. Colorado 1 above. And then Cardinals, Braves, Giants, Arizona, and there's the Pirates a game under, the Marlins a game under. So it's a wild scramble to see who goes to the wild card round. Probably Houston, I'm going to say probably. Big chance of that happening. And one other team that is TBD, to be determined. All right, that's it today for the wrap. Congratulations, Atlanta Braves and Hank Aaron, for advancing. We'll see you next time.